Hi everyone, this is Shanea O'Connor with TrueBloodFansource.com, and I'm here to talk about the True Blood Season 5 finale episode, Save Yourself. It was quite an interesting episode. We expected a lot of death, and I wasn't surprised to see most of the authority members meet their demise. I mean, we had seen this in the episodes prior to this one. And this episode, Rosalind died via Sam flying into her mouth and then changing back inside of her. That was kind of gross. But you have to admit that after gooing so many vampires this episode, that was a pretty creative way to kill one. And then we finally saw Salome die. So that was a pretty interesting episode. The biggest thing, of course, was Bill. He drank Salome's blood, and he's now what we all affectionately refer to as Billith. And at this point, we don't know what he is or what it means or how you can fix it, but it should be interesting in the episodes to come next season, what's going to happen with Bill. But it was interesting because for me to see him sort of just go completely right over the edge, and he couldn't listen to Eric or Sookie at the very end, and he was just so consumed with that power. And it was interesting because for me, I thought that when he finally drank the blood, it was less about really believing in Lilith and in this religion than it was about kind of trying to get away from the Bill that Eric and Sookie knew, the one that allowed himself to fall for Sookie and then get hurt and, feel betrayed because even though he's not Eric's best friend, he was probably still feeling some sense of betrayal when, they were sleeping together and all that stuff. So it was sad, but it was also kind of a random way to end the episode with him kind of rising out of the blood and then Eric yelling run. I didn't think that was the best way to end the season. I felt like it could have used a couple of more scenes. I wish they had put the bonus video, which, by the way, if you saw HBO's announcement that there was going to be a season 6 teaser on HBO Go, they have since posted it on their YouTube account, and we've posted it on our site. So it is up there, and you can go watch. And it's the part of the episode where Pam, Tara, Nora, Jessica, and Sookie are all going up in the elevator with Jason, and they're gonna go clear out the top floor. And Jason, they don't show this in the bonus scene, I don't think, because it was an extra on the bottom of the HBO Go, but Jason was hallucinating about his parents, and his parents were saying, oh yeah, you could kill these fangers all right now if you want to, because they were in the elevator together, but he doesn't do it. And then Nora and everybody, they get out of the elevator, they kill a guard, and they're going upstairs, and I forget what Sookie says or Nora says, and Sookie says something about Warlow, and then Nora turns around and she goes, how do you know about Warlow? And then it's dun dun dun, and then it blanks out and says, who's Warlow? And then it says season 6 2013. So we're going to have to wait until then to learn who Warlow is. But in the meantime, we have seen a fairy give birth in a very kind of slapstick comedy sort of way. Um, Morella was basically having like an orgasm every time she had a kid, which was really funny because, childbirth is kind of the exact opposite of that usually. But poor Andy has to deal with four daughters and he has no clue. I mean, he's never been married or, had a huge serious relationship. I mean, he admitted to Holly earlier in the episode that, this was the first time that he really had a serious shot with somebody and took it seriously. And Holly's probably gonna have to help him because the poor man doesn't know what he's doing. And I felt bad because you could see the guilt on his face when he was holding the kids, but you could also see that he was so proud, you know. But yeah, in the span of a week, Andy has become a father and all this stuff. It's kind of comical. And he did it with a fairy who drank tons of salt. To have her light break, by the way, in case anyone didn't know that. That's what they said on the HBO Go commentary thing, by the way. I find it funny what kind of stuff they leave out in the HBO Go in the show and then put on the HBO Go. It's like, not everybody who watches the show has HBO Go, but whatever. So yeah, that's what she was doing. And to have Nora, to have Arlene and Lafayette like watching this whole thing with Jane Boathouse was hilarious because it was a nice way to kind of bring them sort of into the plot. Although I'm kind of sad to see Terry, although we'll probably end up seeing him at the beginning of next season dealing with the ramifications of what happened with Patrick. The another big thing that happened this episode was Tara went with Eric and Nora to get Pam, and I found it interesting, by the way, that Nora doesn't seem to have much respect for Pam. She was calling. I believe she says to Eric, "I don't know why you care about her. She's a whore." So I was kind of surprised to hear that. It'll be interesting to see the interplay between them next year because Pam won't stand for that. But yeah, to see Tara, and she butted heads with Nora a little bit too. But to see her go off and rescue Pam and then lay one on her was a good one. But I had to laugh because I remember I had a feeling that they would this would be the path for Pam and Tara when I figured out that Pam would be the most likely choice last year to make Tara, because I had thought about it, and there's so many characters on that show, and we get a bunch of new ones every season that, if they wanted to have a love interest, especially for Pam, it would have to be somebody we knew, and Tara would be perfect because it had already been introduced that, she was at least bisexual. And so she could be a potential love interest for Pam. And so it was great to see that, but I just had to laugh because I remember Kristen Bauer getting interviewed. I think it was in June, around the time she went to the Magic Mike premiere. She got interviewed a couple times, and people were asking her about, what would she get a love interest? What about Pam and Tara? And she's like, yeah, it would be nice to end the dry spell. We'll see. And so I now that I've seen the episode, I'm kind of like flashing back to that because she did drop a few hints, and now I just figured it out. So yeah, they're a couple now, and according to an interview that Jamie wrote up with Alan Ball, um, he did an interview with TV Line, and they're apparently committed to Pam and Tara for next season. So it'll be interesting to see that interplay. And Jessica got rescued along with Pam, but unfortunately Jason basically broke her heart, and said, I can't be involved with a vampire, which was sad. Because poor Jessica doesn't have anyone now. Her poor maker, Bill, has kind of gone this other direction. So I guess now she'll probably spend a little bit of time with Eric, Pam, Tara, Nora, that group a little bit, and maybe Sookie, because she seems to like Sookie. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens between them. Let's see what else happened. Is there anything else? I mean, all I can think of is just picture as Stephen Moyer rising up out of the blood. Oh, Sam and Luna. That was a good one to see Sam and Luna trying to get Emma back, and how Luna basically skinwalked to Steve Newland to get her back. And we don't know if she's going to be okay, because at the end of the episode she was looking kind of pale and like she was going to pass out. So let's hope that she's okay. Because I like Sam and Luna together, I do. And then the other big storyline was, of course, Alcide was with his dad, and Martha, who I'm kind of glad that they have kept around and sort of developed her a little bit so she's not so harsh. I'm glad that they had her in there, and she had Ricky with her, and she brought Ricky to Alcide and his dad because she had been forced to drink vampire blood, and they went off to fight JD using a little bit of vampire blood of their own, and now Alcide is Packmaster, so he'll have to deal with that, and I assume since Alcide's dad didn't die that he'll be back next season, which is kind of unusual because in Charlene Harris's 5th book of the Southern Vampire Mysteries, Alcide's dad actually dies because he's fighting another werewolf for the Packmaster position of Shreveport. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays. But I think Alcide does need another family member, just like Pam needed Tara, and Nora came in for Eric, because that helps kind of define some of it. And I loved, by the way, Alcide, not Alcide, but Nora and Eric's sibling banter. I thought that was kind of cute. The way that they were kind of bantering. And it was a nice change, considering that we've either seen them argue or screwing each other like crazy. So yeah, that was interesting. Trying to think. Oh right. And then the other big huge thing that happened is Russell died. Uh-oh. So Russell's dead. Alan Ball did say that he might come back in flashbacks, but while I'm sad that Russell died, I guess they really couldn't do anything else with him, because they had set him so much on that course of fairy blood from season 3 that that had to be reconciled. So he is dead. I guess the fairies are safe for now. It was amazing. They didn't show the fairies after that one scene. They just it was like, oh, bye. And then the only other time we saw the fairies was when Morella came into Merlot's, and then ended up having the babies. So yeah, that's True Blood season 5 for you. So that's about it. But I want to let you guys know that I'm actually in Atlanta right now, preparing to go to DragonCon on Friday. So I will be posting video and footage of all the True Blood stuff that's going on there. We will be seeing Carrie Preston, Sam Trammell, Nelson Ellis, and Joe Manganiello. So make sure to look for that. And be sure to stick with us at True Blood Fan Source for all of the post-finale coverage, and also, continuing throughout the year, because we will always continue to update the site every day as much as we can, um, to get your True Blood fix. And for those of you who are interested in other television shows, we have another site called televisionsource.net, which we're just starting to be able to pay a little bit more attention to now that True Blood is over for the season. So be sure to check us out there. The link to televisionsource.net is on the right-hand side under Shanea O'Connor Media Network. So yeah, be sure to check us out, and thank you all so much for live tweeting with me and watching these video podcasts throughout the season. I might do them for other shows throughout the year, maybe for Once Upon a Time or something. It depends on how these shows start for the fall. But yes, be sure to check us out there, and stick with True Blood Fan Source, and I will see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.